Carnival Cruise Line, one of the world's largest cruise lines, accused of age discrimination. Norwegian Cruise Line had a huge day yesterday, and we got a lady who missed her excursion that wants the cruise line to pay up. And I don't think they will. That plus a whole lot more on today's episode. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here to talk you through everything going on in cruising. And well, age is a big part of the conversation today. Carnival Cruise Line being accused of age discrimination. Let me read this complaint to you. This message was sent to Carnival brand ambassador John Heald, and it reads as such. It's written to John. It is shameful of you. You are wrong. Carnival does discriminate against older people. Those of us 70 plus are pushed away. My husband and me are both 77 this year. On the Carnival ship Mardi Gras, there was obvious proof of this. Number one, noise. Noise. Sorry, I bought the Jason Mewes skin for Call of Duty and never mind. Noise. It is very loud in most public areas, particularly the main dining room. Stop with the loud music and the dancing already. Think of those like us that have hearing aids. Stop being selfish. Number two, no library. How can that be? Older people like to spend their cruises reading in peace and comfort. There is nowhere for this to happen. Number three, no mobility scooter parking areas outside the main dining hall. And number four, there's no 50s music. Discrimination again. You cannot defend the undefendable. Shame on you. Now, interestingly, John responds with a nugget I did not think I would hear. Thank you. And well, I will say that we are proud to have more retired people cruise with us than any other cruise line. I understand that some of the newer ships do not have libraries, but I cannot agree that this is discrimination. And then he asks older people to respond. It's an excellent question. Do you think Carnival is pushing away its older passengers? Do you think they're discriminating against the old? Certainly, when I started cruising, the ships that I went on did have a library, but then the library started going away. Do you think that this is a direct attack on older cruisers? Or, I don't know. To me, the libraries do seem underutilized. I've seen people in libraries, but the space to people ratio, I would say there's an underutilization there. And if I'm a business owner, I'm putting a coffee shop there. I'm doing something else with the space. There's some cruise lines that have great libraries. Holland America. Let me just address that from yesterday. I made a joke yesterday about how if you want to, have a different experience, you can cruise with older people on Holland America line. That's just a joke. And the main reason that I put it out there is because every time you talk about Carnival, people say horrible things about Carnival. And so one of the comments that I got yesterday was, I would rather cruise with the old people on Holland America line than the people that cruise on Carnival. And so the funny thing is, somebody got upset about stereotyping the cruisers on Holland America line by responding by stereotyping cruisers on Carnival. I mean, that's the kind of thing I was trying to show, that it's just really dumb to stereotype any cruise line, but people do it. Oh, neither here nor there. I challenge you to define what old is. I've cruised on Holland several times. I love it. My son called me old yesterday, just indirectly. He said, I met a guy at work that has the same musical taste as you, and he's old like you. And I was like, well, thank you. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Old is all relative. Anyway, so please don't get your granny panties in a bunch, because only old people would wear granny panties, right? Or, yeah. Anyways, what do you think? Is Carnival discriminating against the old? I just think Carnival has a vibe to it, and there's going to be people of all ages that connect with that vibe. And if you don't connect with that vibe, then you got to find another cruise line where you do connect with the vibe. Like I said, Holland America line still has some great libraries on board. There's a lot of quiet spaces. That may be the transition that, I think this is what people don't really understand. The business doesn't change that much. Carnival's pretty much ever since I've been going on it has had the same vibe. Now, certainly if you age through your vibe, then you got to find a different product. I think this is what people are missing. Like, they want the brand to change with them, which just doesn't, I don't know, but maybe you were a quiet library person the whole way, but I could be completely wrong with that. Do you think the vibe of some cruise lines have changed? I mean, certainly cruising is different than it was 30 years ago or 40 years ago, and I think it'd be insane to think that businesses don't change with the times. But yeah, I think it's on the consumer to really look at the product offering, and if it doesn't fit you, then you have to choose a different product. That's just my take on it. But what do you think? Do you think Carnival is trying to push old people out of their business? Yeah, leave a comment below. And I guess while we're talking about age, let me throw up this article from USA Today. Booze, hammocks, and Wi-Fi, what's really luring young travelers to cruise ships? It's an interesting article that references this slide particularly that was created by CLIA back in 2024 that shows cruisers who plan to travel again. No surprise. You know, traditionalists, I guess that would be beyond the boomers, but baby boomers, 84%, Gen X, whoop whoop, like me, 84%. But they're starting to see a rise in millennials and Gen Z that say they would cruise again after they've cruised the first time. And I think it's a testimony to cruise lines not only satisfying, you know, traditionalist boomers and Gen X, but also making offerings that are appealing to younger travelers, which is just smart business because eventually we're all going to age out. Like we're not going to be cruising forever. And so they have to capture that next generation of cruiser. And certainly by offering things that are important to those generations, like access to Wi-Fi, Instagrammable places to take pictures, you know, good food in a different way than what's traditionally thought of on cruise ships. I think you see all of these things starting to play out, not only in, you know, cruise lines like Virgin Voyages, but you see the changes that are shifting in Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, all the major cruise lines, Carnival. You're starting to see a little bit of a shift in what is appealing. I believe in that same CLIA report, they said the average age of the cruiser is 42 years old. So if you think about that, gonna have 30 million cruisers this year. The average age is 42. So if you look at, you know, the bell curve, 42 there at the top, you're gonna have outliers on both sides, older and younger. So yeah, it's fascinating really to watch the dynamics of the demographics of the business shift over time. And maybe that contributes to some of the feelings of the person from the first story complaining that they feel like they're being pushed out of cruising. Are you guys feeling that? Like, again, I like the ebb and flow. I like the chaos of change. And so I like seeing everything shift around because it makes me the most comfortable. But I know not everybody is comfortable in the change situation. How do you feel about cruising right now? Is it still the thing that drew you to cruising? Or do you think it's changing too much and you don't like it anymore? That's a fascinating conversation. You can leave it in a comment below. Now, like I said in the intro, big day for Norwegian Cruise Line yesterday. They had a big event and a big announcement. The big event is that the NCL Aqua has been officially named. There was a big christening ceremony at Norwegian's terminal in Miami yesterday, where Modern Family actor Eric Stonestreet actually named and christened the NCL Aqua. Sounded like a pretty good shindig. They had a performance of the Revolution, the tribute to Prince show there. Of course, all the dignitaries were there. All the leadership from Norwegian Cruise Line was there. A very exciting day. And now Norwegian Aqua is going to start doing her sailings around the Caribbean. I did really enjoy the few days I spent on that ship. It's very sleek, very modern, kind of like what we're talking about. It's a little divergent from normal cruise ship design. And I liked it. It could have been the big Starbucks on board, but that's a whole nother thing. Yeah, have you cruised on Aqua? Are you going to cruise on Aqua? That thing is officially named now, which I think that's probably good luck. And another big thing that happened yesterday is that the NCL president, David Herrera, made a big announcement about Norwegian Cruise Line's private island in the Bahamas, Great Stirrup Cay. I didn't know this till I was researching it today, that Great Stirrup Cay was officially the first cruise line private island in the Bahamas. They acquired it in 1977. So they've been doing the private island thing since 1977. Of course, there's a lot of private islands experiences now in the Bahamas. But I tell you what, the announcement made me excited because you got Great Stirrup Cay. You can go to Great Stirrup Cay. It's got a great lighthouse with zip lines, but you can look across the water, and right there is the Perfect Day at Coco Cay. And honestly, Perfect Day at Coco Cay got a little leg up on Great Stirrup Cay right now. And primarily in my mind, why it's got a leg up is because they've got a swimming pool at Coco Cay. And as someone who prefers the swimming pool over the ocean, I always went to Great Stirrup Cay and just kind of looked at the water. I didn't really swim. They've got some great facilities on Great Stirrup Cay. Don't get me wrong. Good food, good drinks, Starbucks on the island, that kind of stuff. It's exciting to go there. But now they're going to start putting some money into Great Stirrup Cay. They're going to put a Vibe Beach Club out there. They're going to put a heated swimming pool. They're going to build out a new kids area with a splash zone. And they're going to do it incrementally. So we're going to start to see some of the first new developments at the end in Q4 of 2025. and then eventually you're going to be able to go there. They're going to make a new pier where you can get a couple ships there, and you're going to be able to go there and go swimming, which I think is exciting. It doesn't seem like that should be that exciting, but for me, the announcement with the pool being in there, I was like, yeah, that's cool. And if I remember correctly, I believe your like drink package and stuff works on the island, which is always nice. I'm looking at you, Carnival, as you're making your new private experiences. It's nice when the drink package works on the island. You know what I'm saying? Now I got to tell you about this cruise passenger that is mega upset for missing a cruise ship excursion, and she wants the cruise line to give her money back. We'll explore it. We'll try to figure out whether or not the cruise line owes her money back. But before we do that, we got to have ourselves a Monday dance break. Dance break? Get up. Get up. Break. Yeah, the Monday, I'm recording the show so early today. It's like 8 in the morning, but I got to catch a flight later to go to Las Vegas. We got a big event happening in Las Vegas over the next few days. I'll tell you about it later, but I'm very excited. Going to be in Vegas for a few days with family, and yeah, it should be a great time. Okay, there was a customer that cruised on the Carnival Liberty. Let me just read her words, just to let people know. We just got back from a cruise on the Carnival Liberty, and we booked a Carnival excursion in Belize. We were supposed to get off the boat onto a water taxi at 8:15, and for some reason, which we weren't told, we got onto the water taxi at 10:30 a.m. Our excursion was for 9:30 a.m., and we arrived in Belize at 11, so we missed it. I emailed Carnival, but you can't talk to anyone. They said it wasn't a Carnival excursion. We will not be reimbursed. It doesn't matter who we booked it with. It was Carnival. I'm not sure why this person doesn't use punctuation. You know how hard it is to read without some periods and commas? The gist of it is they wanted money from Carnival. Carnival told them it wasn't booked with them, that it was a third-party excursion. And because it's a third-party excursion, of course, they're not going to give them any money back. They're mad. They feel like it's Carnival's fault because of the water taxi scenario, and they're a billion-dollar company, and how come we can't get our $110 back? We're gold stars. We spent a lot of money with them, but never again. It's about the money. It's the principle. Here's the interesting thing, and this is a cautionary tale. If you are cruising on Carnival and one of your port stops is a tender port, which means there's no dock for the cruise ship to dock at, that you're going to have to use a smaller boat to get from the anchored boat out in the water all the way over to shore, then there is a wait in line process for that on Carnival. You have to acquire a water shuttle ticket, and that ticket, depending how low the number is how quickly you're going to get off of the cruise ship. So if you book the third-party excursion and you don't get one of those early water shuttle tickets, there's a good chance you're going to miss that. Now, there's a huge benefit of booking a cruise ship excursion for a tender port because, of course, those excursions get priority on the water shuttles. Carnival's going to make sure that you get to their excursion that you paid for through them. But if you didn't pay for a cruise excursion through them, then all bets are off. And so you have to know that going in. And I feel bad for the person that missed their excursion, but they say they've spent a lot of money, they've cruised a lot. They should know this. They should know that this is the process, that if you've got a third-party excursion and you're relying on a water shuttle to get you over there, there's a good chance that you're going to miss that time. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think, they thought they were going to get on a water shuttle at 8:30, they didn't get on one until 10:30? Do you think that Carnival's at fault for them missing their excursion? Do you think they should give them money back because they're a cajillion-dollar corporation? Or do you think this is an example of a cruiser who didn't do their job well as a cruiser, didn't do their due diligence, and missed their excursion? I've probably indicated which way I fall on it, but what do you think? Leave a comment below. That's everything going on in cruising. We talked about a lot, but one thing I did mention was the NCL Aqua. If you want to see my full ship tour of the NCL Aqua, click there, and you can click our pretty faces here if you want to subscribe for more of this information. It's Tony for La Lido Loca. Until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.